Hi, welcome back to my channel, Open the Door. This is episode 95. One wheel, many spokes, unlocking perspectives of the divine. So if you're a regular viewer to my channel, you may remember the episode I recorded a few weeks ago about starting a fire for a spiritual revolution. And this episode is kind of tied in with that. I'm going to talk about different perspectives among philosophies and religions and how they are similar and what caused this division. So throughout my life, and I was raised religious, I was raised Catholic, but I've always viewed these different religion and spiritual paths and philosophies as spokes on the same wheel. And although these perspectives differ in language and origin, they're all pointing to the same divine center. So here's what the symbolism of the wheel means, to me anyway. The center represents our source, God, our creator. The spokes of the wheel represent the many paths of religion, spirituality, and philosophies, and the different personal paths toward spiritual awakening and connection to our source. The rim of the wheel, the outside edge that holds it all together, represents the outer world where egos clash and we forget that we're connected. There's an illusion of separation, there's fear, and this, of course, would be the furthest point away from the center of the wheel. So the closer that we walk toward the center, the closer we get to each other. I never really understood how some religions can claim that they are the one true religion when there are so many commonalities among varying faiths, philosophies, and spiritual concepts. The truth is, we may walk different paths, but we're all headed to the center. There's different names and different practices and different books, but they all are pointing toward one source, one divine, one love. When you look closely at these different religions and philosophies and spiritual practices, you'll find that there's common threads of truth that emerge among them. So when I strip away the dogma and the rules and the rituals, I realize that all these different practices are teaching the same thing: to love, to forgive, to live your life with compassion, to sometimes be still and listen, to trust that there's something greater holding it all together, to live in service to others with humility and compassion. And they all acknowledge that there's an inner transformation that takes place through our connection to the divine. And all of these religions share the golden rule and the practices of prayer and meditation, silence, and of course, gratitude. So how did we become so divided on our beliefs regarding our faith and regarding source? Well, it wasn't the teachings themselves that caused the division, but what happened after they were revealed. These teachings became entangled with culture and governments and power structures, and the human egoic systems took over. So then the original message became diluted and reshaped or hidden and suppressed by rulers and institutions to gain control and even to justify war. The influence of ego, fear, cultural identity, and political control all affected the teachings and how they've been perceived. There are factions of religions and different groups throughout the world that have this need to be right or believe that their God is the one true God. And when that happened, it sort of turned religion more into an institution versus a spiritual, personal connection to our Creator. Mystics, prophets, and spiritual rebels over centuries have been feared and punished and frequently silenced. And more the focus has become obedience to doctrine over encouraging inner connection to the divine. So this mindset of division, it birthed judgment, exclusion, and conflict, and that's resulted in spiritual truths that are often distorted or weaponized. And in many belief systems, there's the fear of damnation that is purported, and that has become widespread as people are taught to fear others' paths that they don't understand or other beliefs, or when others are in conflict with their own questions of their beliefs. So, despite all this distortion and division, the core truth has never waned from these messages. It's remained in the hearts of the mystics and the prophets, and has lived on through prayer and meditation, through each person's personal connection to our Creator. The truth has not been silenced by hierarchy of greedy systems that seek to control and suppress. So let's reclaim our unity. There's a great spiritual awakening that is happening right now. People from many traditions are drawing together in unity with respect and compassion. We're learning to honor ancient wisdom while embracing our own personal truth. Humanity is learning to be more fluid in beliefs and thoughts with less judgment and more heart-centered intentions. Heart-centered intentions toward forgiveness, understanding, and inclusion for all, even when others are different from us, and especially when they're different. So you can claim this unity by doing these following things. Affirm the sacredness of everyone's path. Encourage compassion, curiosity, and open-hearted exploration and discussion. Focus on principles and not on labels. Let go of the rigid attachment and open to possible new perspectives. Claiming unity doesn't mean abandoning your path, but rather opening your understanding of the vast reach of God's message of love and peace for all. Ultimately, healing through our personal connection to Source and that universal light begins to shine within, and we recognize it in others, regardless of their faith practices or beliefs. This is then carried with us and ultimately out into the world, and it has a ripple effect on those around us. So if you're a regular practitioner of any type of religion or spiritual practice, try to keep an open mind and remember that we're all on our own personal journey. There's many different perspectives, but in my estimation, they all bring us to the center of that wheel, which is our Source, our God, our Creator. And that will bring us toward the oneness that we're hopefully seeking. This is our episode for today. Many spokes of the same wheel. There's been a little delay because I've been busy with other projects, but I'm back on track. So I hope you've been doing well since I saw you last time. I'll be back very soon. So in the meantime, take good care, and I'll see you again. Have a great day. Bye for now.